Is this the one I want to buy? You recorded it?
Oh, nice.
It's a blue. Hey, this one, I'm watching so much when you pee.
Oh, yeah.
Must adjust your hair, bro.
Stylist eh? Wow. Personal stylist or? Not stylist.
Okay, this one got nice.
Okay. I think you're probably gonna. Okay. Alright. Good. Okay, I'm gonna record. You're good? Yeah. The camera's all rolling, right? Okay. Wow. Hello.
Robin, welcome. You guys want to clap hands for him or not? Your Central Roadies group. Wow, Robin. So, Robin, we actually, I met you the first time when you joined one of my TMCR rides.
Yeah.
And I think after that you started making friends with everyone, right?
Yeah.
Then you joined Central Roadies. But thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure having.
We've got a lot of roles coming in.
Oh man, not prepared for that at all.
As usual, all your groups are over there. They're here to cheer you on, man. But as usual, I like to start with give us an introduction about yourself.
Okay, I'm Robin. I'm currently a student at the NUS, and I like cycling, and I like tinkering with my bike. So you can see it's kind of a mix of weird parts.
Are you a COVID cyclist?
I wouldn't say I'm a COVID cyclist. I mean, I started cycling when I was very young, maybe 5 or 6 years old. But I never really had a proper road bike until 2 years ago. Actually, 2022. I bought this bike in 2022. Now, my previous frame was a gravel frame. So, yeah, with a flat pedal.
So this is your first road bike?
It's my first proper road bike. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so how long have you owned this bike?
This bike, I think less than a year actually.
Less than a year?
Yeah, less than a year. So I bought it last year with the help of one of my friends. I went out to Bukit Paso to get it, and I think Anders, one of the riders, so he was one of the shop attendants there, helped me with the frame selection, and I was very lucky lah. They had my size. I just called them. And I was like, hey, do you guys have the SL6 in stock and anything? They're like, yeah, we have this in your size. You can come down and view it and everything, and it's pretty smooth.
Why did you get the SL7?
Okay, I think I wanted to build up the bike a little bit, so I didn't just want to buy stock because the SL7 was kind of quite pricey for what I was looking for. So I decided to get this where I can slowly build up to what I want it to be. And I was looking at something more of like a climbing bike, something lighter. Yeah, so settle on this frame instead of the SL7.
And when I was lifting the bike, hanging it on the wall, it's actually very light, man.
Oh, it is? Yeah.
I felt there was light lah. It's like, you told me how much, huh?
Just now I weighed, it was about 7.1. Yeah, so kind of proud to get it down to this weight because I think from the start, when I got this frame, it was about 8+ kg, super heavy. Like my friend was watching it and they were weighing it, like, wow, climbing bike 8+, wow, jialat. I was like, oh, did I make a mistake or something? Yeah, Yeah, but actually, if you start looking at, things like the wheels, things like the group sets, small things like even like the Bartape, all of this can save a lot of weight if you know what you're doing.
So you've only, I would say, got into road cycling seriously about 1 year ago.
Actually, when I had my gravel bike, which was another Specialized, it was a Diverge. I actually started riding on the roads. It's just that I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't know the rules or anything. I'll just swerve in and out. I'll search left and right. Yeah, so only after I got this bike, I started joining CRS around this time as well. Yeah, so learned a lot of etiquette lah. Got scolded a lot for surging. Got hantam a lot. Got a lot of strong riders. Like, wow, really just dropped me on the straights last time. I was like, wow. Yeah, so humble.
Yeah, and then before you came in, Ryan was on the show before this. Who, thank you for having the extra cameras zoomed into his face. You got extra help from Ryan, so thanks to Ryan. I heard that everyone went to Batam. Was it Batam or Bintan?
Batam.
Except you.
Yeah.
What's the story?
I can't remember exactly what I had on that day, but I think I had some commitments which I couldn't shake off lah. So it was also a bit last minute. So I was just like, you know what? I really cannot make it. Have fun, guys. Yeah, and I really regretted it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You missed out, man.
Yeah, but they say that there's going to be one more Batam one this year, and I'm definitely not missing that for the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's recorded on camera, okay? So make sure he goes to Batam.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so back to your cycling, right? You said you got this 1 year ago from Specialized Bukit Paso. Were you like a lone ranger getting into road cycling, or you had a friend who introduced you to the sport to help you out buy the bike?
Okay, actually, I feel that I met a lot of like benefactors along the way. So one of my earliest benefactors was my cousin. So that guy is insane. He's a monster. He's so powerful, but he doesn't do competitive. So last time he used to ride road bikes, Bustles. Then he switched to a gravel bike. And he was the one that actually encouraged me to get my first gravel bike. And we had a lot of fun, you know, like at those PCN areas and like those off-roads, like small off-roads. Yeah, but then slowly on, as I got more and more confident with my riding skills, I started to join your group with my diverge. Yeah, and I was still on flats at the time.
I forgot about that diverge.
Yeah, the black color diverge, right? Yeah, I was on flats at that time, and I just started building up my confidence and a bit more strength. Yeah, then I moved on to, through mutual friends, I met another group called Chol Moi. So like some of them over here. Yeah, so that group also is a very funny group, meme lots everywhere. Yeah, and they were quick riders as well, and then every weekend they would organize rides and stuff, and I'll just go, have fun. And I slowly progressed to CRS, which is slightly more bigger and more formal. Yeah, so.
So Diverge, I kept thinking this is the first bike. So Diverge was actually the first road bike.
Yes,
then?
Diverge was the first road bike road gravel bike that I actually built properly.
So you intended to ride on the on gravel terrain or?
Actually, that time was during COVID, so I didn't know what to expect. So I contacted my cousin. I was like, "Hey, I want to get a new bike. Should I get?" Actually, at first I want to get the Trek, one of the Trek top end Trek mountain bikes. Then he was like, "Oh no! I think if you want to go fast and you want to go off road, then you get a gravel bike lah." So that's what I did. So I got a gravel bike, and then over time I just realized, "Oh, super heavy." And then people say, "Hey, why you keep riding on the gravel bike? You ride on the road lah?" Hey, no point leh. So I just swap lor. Yeah, so I had to look around. Yeah,
so you managed to sell the Diverge at a good price?
Yeah, I wouldn't say at a super good price, but at a price I was willing to accept. Yeah, so I sold it to some uncle who was going to do like Outdexes with his friends. Yeah, so I sold it to him.
So looking back, right, when you have started, you wouldn't have gotten the Diverge. You just should have gotten the road bike.
Well, I think the Diverge actually let me learn a lot of things. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have gotten the Diverge, but maybe I would have gotten something different. But the Diverge let me learn a lot of things, like bike control, because it was not the lightest bike around. So throwing it around in corners and everything made me learn how to brake early, turn, and like off roads how to handle, these kind of things. Yeah, but yeah, I think you're right. Maybe if given a chance, I might.
What would have been the bike? What would have been the bike?
I think it would have still been a Specialized. Maybe my first bike would have been an SL6.
Specialized fanboy?
Yes.
But why? Okay, you're new to the sport, right?
Yes.
So like, why did the Specialized come into mind first?
So the only thing I remember last time was when I was cycling when I was very, very young, I think like maybe 7, 8 years old, I was riding on my Urata mountain bike, just like, and then I see like, wow, Specialized bikes zipping past me like so quick. And I was like, I remember like, wow, I see the S logo, wow, so cool. The riders were like, very, very start like that. And I was like, oh, okay, man, I'm going to get a bike next time when I grow up. And then, yeah, I kind of forgot about it all the way until like, the COVID times. And then when I started getting back, I was like, what bike should I get? And I searched around, there's Giant, all this kind of thing. I was like, nah. Got to get something like a Specialized, like, S. S stands for speed. And yeah, it looked cool, I guess. And like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you sold the Diverge, got the SL6. Why Specialized and not the S-Works version of the SL6?
Okay, I think partly because of like my personal budget. So like I'm a student, so I don't have like unlimited amounts of cash. So something that I thought would be a good platform to build would be the Specialized rather than the S-Works, because I also didn't know whether I would be in road riding for very long, because I'm kind of fickle-minded. So like I tend to stop my hobbies. After a few years, I'll just drop it and get a new one. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get this frame. It's a very nice color. I like this color, and even if I don't like it, it's not such a big loss in my pocket. So yeah.
How much was it?
This one was about 4K.
4K with
4K for 105 group set and DT Swiss R470DB, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, but I sold that off, all of it.
Oh.
Then I started to build everything.
Would it have been cheaper if you just sold the bike and then buy a brand new bike with all the components that you wanted?
Okay, but the thing is that there's no such bike. You see, like, where on the market will you be able to find such a bike like that? It's like, it takes a lot of time and also a lot of like searching to go and build something that you truly want. Yeah.
Run us through the setup, man.
Okay, sure. So,
I think it's easier if you want to look on the screen.
oh yeah, sure. So, how do I point like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so as you can see, it's an Ultegra group set. Mainly Ultegra group set. The shifters are Ultegra, the cranks are Ultegra, pedals, everything is actually Ultegra except for the cassette. The cassette is actually Dura-Ace. I changed it recently because I found it, I wanted to reduce the rear weight. So this bike, it's a little bit biased to here. So the weight is a bit here. So I wanted to reduce the weight here. So I changed that cassette. Bought it from a very nice guy. $100 over. What else do I have?
And this is a 49.
Yeah, it's a size 49. So actually, last time my previous diverge was a 52. 51, 52? 51. 51.
Is that 51?
No, I don't think so. I think it's 52.
Okay.
Yeah, 52. So it was a 52 and it was a bit too large. So I was like super stretched out. Yeah, so I was thinking, if I'm going to get a new bike, I'm going to like get something like a bit smaller.
Didn't you check the chart on the website?
Yeah, the chart recommended I'm 165. So it recommended me a 52, but it's too big. I couldn't fit properly. So the moment I called Paso asking about this bike, I was like, I'm definitely going to get a 49. Yeah, and that's what I did. Yeah,
The Diverge was from Paso?
The Diverge was not from Paso. It was I bought it from the website directly.
Oh.
Yeah, during COVID, so there was like a little bit of like a sale or something going on. So I bought it from the website, and then they just sent it over. Asked like some local builder to build it, then
Okay.
send it to my house.
Sorry, didn't want to cut you off. You were running through your bike.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So yeah, okay. So the wheels are ELVES Orom Vala wheels with laced with DT Swiss hubs 240. Runs pretty well, can guarantee. Shimano XT rotors, Arundel border cages, the remote seat posts, and there's this Selle Repente Quasar carbon saddle. It's only 119 grams. You consider it. Gears in motion OSPW. What else?
OSPW Rose is coming soon.
Oh yes, of course. I'm ready for it.
Ready for it?
I'm ready. Yeah, and handlebar. The handlebar is actually one of my prouder pieces. So I actually went to search for very long for. Okay, I know this bike is not Di2 or any integrated. It can't run. It can run, but it's semi-integrated. But I wanted a one-piece handlebar stem. So I looked for very long. Looked at Zips, Envies, all this. Went to the shops and felt it, and I didn't really like some of them. So I went on forums, Reddit, and everything to search, and then eventually I found this brand called Farsports. It's up and coming. I think it's a Chinese brand, yeah, but they sell wheels and as well as like components as well. And I went out to the shop. I think Singapore is one of those. It's called Ride in Style. Yeah, so they stocked this. So I went out to see, went out to hold it, and it was pretty good. Like it's stiff and it's light. All that you need in the bar, and it looks good also. So yeah, I dropped the payment on it and I installed it.
How much would you value your bike right now? Okay, if you don't want to say, it's okay.
How much do I value my bike?
Because you might want to sell it next time. So
value my bike. You mean the actual cost or?
Okay, if you were to sell this bike,
okay,
how much would you have? How much would you list it for?
Actually that's very hard to say. Like I'm actually not very keen to sell this bike because it's like it's.
When this video comes out, right? People will be like, I saw this bike on Carousel. What are you talking about?
I doubt it, but okay, maybe if you evaluate, maybe. Wow.
Careful, this is going to affect your Carousel price,
Okay, never mind. I'll leave it to offers.
Okay, then we don't.
I didn't really not say.
Okay, so let me start. Okay, so size 49, SL6 165, right?
Yeah, great.
Do you go for a bike fit?
No.
Are you going to go for a bike fit?
I don't think so.
Why? Why not?
Because I have a very painful experience. Okay, I wouldn't say painful experience, but it's more of like I didn't do a bike fit, but over time, as I rode it, I realized a lot of things that I needed to change. Saddle height, saddle position, the crank length. So I've changed this crank length twice, 172, 170, 165. And also actually this bar is the second bar that is from Farsports. So it used to be 90 mm, 380, 90 mm. Now it's 380, 100 mm. Yeah. So a long way lah. When it came with 80 mm stock. So it was a whole mess, a whole trial and error, and to this point where I feel like actually very comfortable. I don't feel any backache, anything.
Do you think that people should go for a bike fit, then they get to skip this whole process of trying to figure out, for you, for example, you got default crank arm length 172.5, then 170, then 165.
Yeah.
Then you change 2 times handlebar.
Yeah.
Would it be cheaper? You just pay $200-300, go for the bike fit, then you wouldn't have to pay so much for all this, right?
Yeah, actually I think that I encourage people to go for a bike fit. I mean, if you are new to the sport, you don't really know your sizing that well, everything. Getting a bike fit is the best. It's the fastest way to figure out whether or not
But any
the bike works
regrets?
for you.
Like you should have gone
At
for
this
that.
point, no lah, because I already know what I need, to have a comfortable bike and most aero or the most comfortable.
I want to go
figure
back
it
to
out.
the crank length, right? So default bikes, I don't know why it's so bloody long, 172.5. I went through the same experience as you. I wanted a 165 because I'm a weak ass. I cannot power down. I'm like spinning non-stop. So I went for 165.
Yeah.
Why did you get 165?
Because my legs are short.
Okay, yeah, good answer. Good
I
answer.
mean, I don't really have very long legs, okay, but I mean, like if your legs are not too long, then 165 is the obvious choice. I mean, there's also 160.
I know
but-
there's even shorter, like
yeah, even
155.
shorter, but I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too much for us.
Then now
Yeah.
you can raise your seat post a bit higher.
Yeah, so I raised my seatbelts a bit higher, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so size 49. Let's talk about the wheel set. So this is the brand called ELVES.
Yes.
The last time I filmed an ELVES, I was told it was pronounced ELVES. Is it ELVES or ELVES?
I think it's called ELVES. Correct me if I'm wrong, because the ELVES was kind of like inspired by the Lord of the Rings, so I'm pretty sure it's ELVES.
All right.
Not ELVES.
So why did you get with these wheel sets? And this is my first time seeing this, by the way.
Right, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, back then my previous wheel set was a pair of Fulcrums, but some won't name the bike shop, but they screwed it up. The tuning was off as hell, and I keep having to send it back and forth. Super frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a separate wheel set. So I went around searching for different kinds of wheel sets, or maybe like classical, all your DD Swiss, NVs, all this. Just didn't really strike me as something that I wanted to get. And then I just wanted something that was lighter and a bit like, if I could save some like cash, I would do it. So I went around to look, and I actually went to buy some Continental tires from one of the shops in Singapore, and they happened to have this wheel. So the ELVES distributor, which is a Bike Technique. Yeah, so they hooked me up with a pair. I mean, there was a promo price going on at the time. And I was like, hey, you know what? It's DT Swiss, and it seems light. I can work with this. Yeah.
How much are the wheel sets?
Wow. I can't recall. I think it's about sub-thousands.
Ooh,
Yeah, 1,000
that's not
plus.
bad.
Oh, slightly over 1,000.
What's the review of the wheels like?
Actually, right, there are no reviews of wheels. So the only kind of reviews for these wheels, right, you can find on YouTube are those like in other languages. So Southeast Asia, maybe like Malaysia, Thailand. You can find those. But yeah, I mean, even on Reddit, there are very, very few reviews. But I think, as somebody who has ridden with these wheels for thousands of kilometers, right, I think it's impeccable, man. Like at this price point, this is unbeatable. Like I would say it even outdoes the Hypers. But I mean, I'm not an engineer, so yeah.
What do you think of more expensive wheels? You mentioned NVs, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth that money? I run NVs.
Well, I think it's okay, but like, it really depends on what you're looking at the point in time. So for my purposes, I wanted a pragmatic set of wheels that, of course, need to look a bit better. I can't be just like a plain, the Shimano's kind of wheels, like very plain. Like, I'm not into that kind of aesthetic. Yeah, so
this one has a bit of nice look, like the carbon fiber look to it.
So there's like matte, a bit of like matte carbon fiber. It's marbled, and then there's this part where it's like gloss. Yeah, so I think part of the style sold me lah. Yeah.
I'm gonna roast you on the valves.
Damn. Right.
Why is it so bloody long, man?
Okay, personally, I have a preference for longer valves. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I know shorter valves look better and are more aero. But longer valves are easier to pump for me because I had a very bad experience last time. I think it's because I wasn't used to it. So I took the short valve, I couldn't fit the pump in, so I just keep pressing until it burst. So after that time, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get longer valves and just save me from the trouble from bursting the valves.
Man.
Yeah, I know, but okay, I got a story behind this, right? So literally just before this interview, I think, 2 hours before this interview, I was at another friend's house, Don, pretty good guy. He hooked me up with a set of Right Now tubes. Okay, so, but unfortunately he had no 60mm, so he only had the 80s. So there you go. Yeah, sticking out like a sore thumb.
And then you told me you run 110 psi.
Oh yeah. So
finally, someone who's running 110 psi.
yeah, I don't know why people run like 60, right? Okay, man, I mean tubeless, yeah, 60. But 110 is just, it's so easy to go. It's like the moment you press, you put on the power, you start moving off. Yeah, but there's a trade-off. So like in slightly wetter conditions or slipperier areas, then you lose traction.
Do you think you get pinch flats easier with 110 psi? Like it's more prone to pinch flats because it's so high pressure, right?
I've never actually gotten a pinch flat on a 110 psi, but I have gotten pinch flats on 110 psi's on TPU tubes. So I think TPU tubes cannot run super high pressure. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things to consider.
So what tubes are these? These are just like Conti tubes?
These ones?
Yeah.
So these ones are Right Now, like the Chinese ones.
Oh.
Yeah, so again, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you mentioned it just now. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 2 things to roast,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first one, where should I start? The seat post. You know, when I asked you for the photo, right, then you submit to me, I was like,
Yeah.
did I get it wrong? I zoomed in, I was like, freaking Darimo seat post, man.
Yeah, no, like,
No. So like these seat posts are not cheap.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, like this bike was a project. It was I don't know. Like at first, I was like, I'm just gonna go for budget. I'm just gonna keep the 105. I'm not gonna upgrade anymore. But after I was like, you know what? Screw it. Just gonna whatever I want to change, I'll change. So the Darima was actually very like it was a very chance find. So I think one of those German websites that sold components, I think R2 bike, they had this one for sale. I think about 200 over euros. Couldn't pass up the opportunity, man.
It's quite cheap.
Yeah,
for a Darimo.
that is quite cheap for a Darimo. So I snagged it along because I was looking for true axles as well. So carbon TI true axles. So only those funny websites will sell.
So you were just browsing around and it so happened you saw $200 I bought.
Yeah,
Just bought it.
I
You
was
were not specifically looking for it.
Yeah, no. I was like just browsing and I was like, what else can shave the weight? Seat post, maybe like the seat itself. Yeah, and then I chanced upon, Darimo, like 200 over euros.
These are the most impulsive kind of buys when you're sitting in the toilet taking a shit and then you're like, you're browsing websites, Carousel, looking at cheap bikes. Like, wow, okay, tomorrow I want to buy. And then it's like stuck in your head that, I want to get this bike, right?
Yeah, it's a super bad habit. Like it came to a point where like sometimes I just do it like lying on my bed. I'll just scroll through like my Carousel or like, like these kind of websites. And then some of my girlfriend will be beside and then she'll be like, you looking at the bikes again? Again? I'm just gonna spend on the bike. And I was just like, oh yeah. Then I just stop the tab.
Oh my god. Okay. So that's on the seat post.
Yeah.
Next roast. I want to roast you on the freaking handlebar, man.
The handlebar.
I think there
okay.
are probably people who would opine with me. I think I saw some comments about the spacers and the whole handlebar.
Damn.
I mean, personally, I feel that the handlebar doesn't fit the look of SL6 because it's like so aero, right?
Correct.
Doesn't it bother you? Like it's so chunky and like squarish, but it's on the SL6.
Okay, so I think when I first saw it, there was an option to get the spacers for SL6. So this company made 3D printed spacers for SL7 and the SL6. So when you fit it on, it actually look pretty nice. Okay, so I was just lazy to get it, so I didn't get it. So regarding that, I think it's because the stack height is super high. So I haven't slammed this actually. What I've done is to tweak the seat and everything, but I've not slammed it yet. I'm not. Maybe in due time, but not now. So yeah, but I mean regarding the look, my rhetoric was that since the whole bike is already so light, it's a climbing bike, and then I saw this chart where it shows like aero percentages. So your body is the biggest, then followed by wheels. Then after that, next one is the handlebar. So the handlebar is aero, aero law. Then I changed law. It was a good price. So
I mean, it's your bike, it's not my bike. So I just wanted to point that out. Like, I cannot take the fact that it's so chunky, right? But on the SL6.
Yeah, that's like some people have said also. It's like where you put this integrated? You can't even integrate the cables.
But you said you might want to slam it, but do you think you can sustain in that position?
Actually, right now in this what do you call it? I've been wanting to slam it since a long time. I'm just lazy to take out the spacers. But for a long time coming, since I've swapped the stem, because I lengthened the stem a little bit, I've actually been very comfortable on the drops. So I spend most of my time in the drops actually. So I've talked to my mechanic about this and then he was like, maybe time for you to move it down. Yeah, so he asked me to move it down myself first before going to the shop to cut. Yeah, so I haven't done it yet.
Is that why the cables are still so long?
Yeah lor. So the cables are, so last time the cables used to be a lot better. Like when we first did it, it was really, really tight. But now it's because I changed the cables as well because I swapped the cables out with the maintenance. So
you did by yourself?
No lah, my mechanic lah.
Then why is it so much?
No, he said keep first. Keep first. Then next time, last time. So, maybe story time. These brakes were not the brakes I used to use. So I used to have a pair of Hope RX4 pluses.
Overkill.
Gave me so much issues, so many problems, bleeding problems. The pistons won't retract. A lot of problems. So we were done with it. And by the time, because we keep having to take it in and out, right? The mechanic had to keep cutting the hose. Yeah, so by the time too short. So now I had to buy another set of hoses to change.
Why did you get Hope RX4? Because bling.
Okay, so I think one day with Cho Moy, we were riding past this place called some cafe near Harbourfront there. Then there was a bike hanging on the rack. And I saw this purple colored, like very nice aluminium body calipers. I was like, what's that? And then I looked, oh man, RX4 Plus. Then I went to Google, I went to see. I was like, hey, actually not bad leh. Got four pistons instead of 2. Then I was like, okay, I'll go and search and buy. Then I try. I think squeaked like crazy. The brake feel was horrible.
Is it dot or what?
No, there's dot and Shimano fluid. So I bought the Shimano variant. Yeah, but it was a bitch to maintain. Yeah, like couldn't really, like it was squeak. Then even after I emailed Hope actually, I was like, why does it keep squeaking? I've done all I can. Then they were like, oh, you need to take it apart to lube it every like couple of weeks or so.
Lube?
Yeah, I need to lube. So
Which
there's, you
part?
know the pistons?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I need to take it out, push it, lube, and then
That's weird.
put it back in again. So basically it's 4, and plus like because there are 4, so there's a pressure fluid difference lah. So when you press the brakes, right, 2 are going to clamp tighter than the other 2. So when you retract also, the ones further away are going to retract slower. So that's why.
You must be
a lot of
riding so
issues.
fast that you need 4 pistons to stop you.
No,
That's
I
why you got
was
the
thinking
F1
that.
logo there, right?
Oh no, it's just, I'm a big F1 fan.
I'm an
that's
F1
why.
fan. Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, I like Sebastian Vettel, but I support Mercedes.
Oh, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton, yes, all time.
Okay. But how are those brakes though? Like it's definitely overkill, right? You don't need those kind of.
The brakes are super powerful. So the reason why I changed it was because the previous time I was running the 105s, I didn't bother changing. So I had the Ultegra set, but I didn't change. So I was on the 105s, I was descending Faber. I wanted to, one of my friends, one of the climbers, super fast guy.
Is he here?
Trying to beat him. Yeah, he's over here. 2 actually. Got one guy, his name is Jet. One guy called Jet. One guy called Nick. Super fast guys. Yeah, always pushing us to the limit. So yeah, like I was trying to outbrake and everything. There's one time, wow, my 105s didn't have the braking power to slow me down. And I was like, you know what, just trying to get something stronger lah. Yeah, but yeah, it didn't work out. So I swapped back to Dura Ace. So I was on the overseas trip in Japan. So I chanced upon this set of Dura Ace, the new ones, 12-speed brakes. And I was like, hey, it's pretty good price over there. So I just...
Cheaper than Singapore?
Way a lot cheaper,
Way cheaper?
man. I think you can save about $200.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Was this
That's how much.
when Dura Ace just first came out, the 12-speed? Or
It was last December. Lor.
or sometime already?
Some time ago, yeah.
Okay. I ran out of ropes. Oh, sorry, last one. OSPW.
OSPW.
You said you got a good answer, right?
Oh yeah, no. So, okay, I can't remember who it was. Somebody was like, bro, why did you get OSPW? I'm like, yeah, those things. I remember I told one. I think I told one of my friends or my cousin before. I was like, I'll never get this thing. It's like super lousy. Like, what's $600 for this? By the way, this is not expensive. By the way, this is kind of like quite a value for money OSPW.
It looks like one of the AliExpress ones. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
AliExpress
yeah.
or not.
As in, like, it looks like it, right? But like, I mean, they say it's made in Singapore, so it's a
Oh,
Singapore
I know,
brand.
I know which company is this.
Ah.
What's the name?
Gears in Motion.
Ah.
I bought it from Fishtails actually. Yeah, so there was like, I went to see, I was like, okay, for fun, because it's not very expensive or anything. I just
How much
went
is
to
it?
try.
$200.
100 over only.
Okay.
Yeah, slightly over 100. Yeah, so I went to try it and it was like, hey, big difference,
No way.
No, serious.
No way.
Serious. No cap. No cap. No, it's cause, right, like, at first, okay, so when you first change into this, when you start pedaling, right, it's a bit hard to gain speed from the initial stop. But the moment you hit a certain, like, certain power, certain revolution, it maintains speed very well.
No,
like, I can feel it.
It's placebo.
No cap.
No
No
way.
cap. No cap. I think even if it's not about all the ceramic things, right, it's probably got to do with the larger wheel here.
I don't buy it, man.
But I mean, each to their own lah. I felt faster, so
Okay, if it makes you faster, then okay. So, will you tell people to buy an OSPW? Are your friends here, are they all on OSPW?
some are, some are not. I
Oh,
mean,
that's-
some of the strongest riders, they have OSPWs lah.
Oh.
So I don't know lah. Maybe correlation bias.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if it fits your bike, it fits your budget, your bike, and then you think that you want to have that. You think that it brings you a performance boost? Yeah, why not? I mean, same with all the other components of your bike, right? Yeah.
Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, maybe last reviews about the
Yeah.
frame. If people watching, they might want to get SL6 or these kind of wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them?
I think, to be honest, don't go and listen to people talking about, say, oh, this good, this bad. Or like, oh, this one, the not branded or not branded. You go out and try yourself. So experiment. I mean, no shame in going down to the showroom and asking, hey, can I try this bike? Can I lift it up? If you want to build your wheels, just go down and say, hey, how heavy are these? What do you think? What are you using? And you can talk to people and then go to cycling clubs, go to meets, like touch people's tires,
Touch
people's tires. Ask them whether I can cycle on your bike or not.
That's not a
can try
nice
or
way
not.
to say it, man. Touch people. Hey, can I touch your tire? It's like a fetish.
No, not in that way. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, just go out and experience it. Like, try what you want to try, and yeah, if it makes you happy, it makes you fast. I think that's the most important thing, right? I just want to go fast.
Like your OSPW lah.
Yeah, with the OSPW, so the moment this one, 10 watts. I'm just kidding lah. Yeah, but yeah, it made me feel good. So yeah, why not?
Sorry, I'm not over yet.
Yeah,
Now
sure, go
comes the real roast from all your friends.
Go ahead, please.
Daryl, you're Daryl Tomato, right? Okay lah, we start with Daryl Tomato first. Oh, we just actually spoke about it, but he said, why do you keep getting punctures? Is it time to go tubeless? I thought you said no pinch flats.
So let me just share one of my most memorable experiences. Daryl riding with us one time. He's running on tubeless, by the way. Great bike.
Canyon,
So he was
right?
on- yeah, Canyon. So he was on tubeless, right? One day we were just going down some tunnel, and then he went. Psst. So actually it was before the tunnel. He punctured. So we all stopped at the bus stop, and then he take out his CO2 canisters. He was putting in. He was like, wow, all the sealant all over my legs. Wow. Then after that, right, we were like, okay, fixed already, can go already, right? Then he said, okay, yeah, can go already. 5 minutes later, down the tunnel, puncture again. Then I was like, tubeless, tubeless. Yeah, so as much as tubeless, sounds like an ideal upgrade, but to be honest, nothing wrong with tubes. It's super fast to fix also.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Wait. So what happened actually? What was the real problem? Why did he get another puncture?
I have no idea. You ask him.
What happened at
Next
Daryl?
interview, maybe. Okay, so my own story is I punctured a lot of times because I tried to change my tubes to TPU. Okay, so I did it once DIY, and then the other times I sent to other mechanics to try to put it in lah. And all of these times they puncture. So right now tubes puncture, Victoria tubes puncture. So at one point I was like, must be my rims, must be the spokes or something. So I went for a thorough check, whole thing check, changed the rim tape, checked my spokes. Nothing was wrong. Until I think just now, I only started realizing just now, there's bite in the tube. Okay, so basically, yeah, so I went to my friend's house just now. He had me change the tube and we were talking about the pressure. And then he said, is it because that you were running 110 PSI? Maybe that's why your tubes keep bursting. Yeah, and I was just like, actually that might be true. Because he told me, if you put TPU, you drop the PSI down to 80, 90, it's about the same as latex on 100, 110. It feels similar. And at first I thought it was like, this confirm is cap, right? But then the moment he did it, I was like, actually, very, very stiff. It's like, it might be even stiffer than latex on 110s. Yeah, so fingers crossed, no more punctures on this.
So, but you're still on 110 TPU? 110 PSI on TPU?
No, this is 90 already. Swap to 90.
90.
Yeah, I drop it down to 90.
So you can't do 110 already lah?
No lah, but if you touch, stiff right?
Oh, yeah lah.
Stiff lah. So we try this first. If it doesn't work, then I'll swap it too. Yeah.
But do you feel there's a difference riding TPU compared to latex?
Oh, big difference.
In terms of
Big
rolling?
difference.
Or is this another placebo?
No, I generally think it's not possible because I tried butyl, I tried latex, and I tried this, and I keep on swapping. So over time, I just kind of know the differences, even though they're very, very small. So latex, they absorb everything on the road. So potholes, little bumps, rocks, almost cannot feel. Almost cannot feel. But for TPUs, you can feel the jolts. Yeah, so you know if you're going to get a pinch flat, because if you run over something sharp, you will know. Yeah, it's quite flighty lah.
Right.
Twitchy.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah, sure.
I think I met this lady who came on. She was in the previous. She's not here today.
Oh, okay.
Eunice.
Eunice. Oh, okay.
Oh, what's with the
How
O?
Eunice? No, it's part of the gang.
Okay. I don't really quite get this question because I don't think I follow you on Strava.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Why after every ride must write an essay?
Wow. Okay. So
Your friends are laughing, man.
I think some of my closer friends and some of my second friends might know lah.
Wait, sorry, I follow you on Strava, but I don't think I've
Ah.
seen an essay.
Oh, every ride write essay one.
Oh wow, so you're
Yeah.
admitting it. So what's the
Yeah.
essay?
Okay. So basically, I got goldfish memory lah. So a lot of things I will put on either Instagram or Strava. So my stories, my day-to-day stuff happening. Especially for rides, because rides are a fun thing. You have fun with friends and everything. You want to put it up, and some people say, "Hey, today I cannot make it. I'll join you guys next time." Then then next time we join. Hey, what happened in the previous ride? Then at some point I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write it so everyone can just view what happened. And, it's like a fun thing lah. Just get to summarize what happened.
Have you ever revisited those rides and look at wow.
Yeah. Sometimes,
You do?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes the end of the year, then I'm deleting stuff, and then I'm on Strava. I'm just like, oh, cool things.
Wow.
The journey happens since
Takes
last
a lot of
year.
effort, man.
I'm okay lah. Usually just about 10 to 15 minutes. But after you wash your bike, then you're taking a crap.
It's
and
like
just-
people, when you go out for meals, right? They start taking photos of dishes, and I'm like, what the hell? What do you guys do with those photos? Do you actually look at it like, oh, I ate fish today? Like,
yeah, it's like a photo album. If it's something you want to immortalize, then yeah lah.
okay.
Yeah.
Next one. Do you feel more or less specialized owning the same bike as everyone else?
Only the same bike as everyone else. SL6, I mean.
Yeah. Do you
It's
feel
SL6.
more or less specialized?
I mean, I don't think there's anybody else with this frame combination. Nobody else with this frame, the aesthetics of this frame.
I don't think I've seen anyone in this color.
Yeah, so this color, a lot of people say, wow, red, I cannot. Red is I don't know, it's like they have aversion to wearing red shirts or red bikes. Somebody told me, oh, red bike, cannot buy. Then I was like, why? I was like, no idea why. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, doesn't really bother me. I've spent a lot of time to customize this bike, so I don't really have that kind of like insecurity. Yeah.
Specialized with no fully integration, shaking my head.
I mean, integration doesn't make you go faster. It doesn't make you a better rider. I mean, it does make the cables a bit more neat, but your mechanic will complain. The mechanic say, the day I change to integration, he's going to charge me more. So
True.
I was like, no, never mind. But I mean, yeah, no point. Like, it doesn't make me faster.
I had the SL6 before,
Yeah.
and it's a specialized one as well. And I find it so much easier to maintain, like just in terms of removing the handlebar for bikepacking or whatever.
Yeah.
Doing your own DIY with integrated cables, right? It's a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah, lor.
Just changing your headset and try to service it, like it's a real pain in the ass. You got to re-loop. I mean, it's got to re-bleed the whole thing.
Yeah, and like, for example, like this cable, like I said already, but the cable has been cut multiple times. So if it's integrated, usually it's already pre-cut. It's cut to a point where there's no more allowance. So if you take it out, you want to change the brake hose, everything, you're going to have to bring a whole new brake hose inside. Yeah, so, works for me.
Right. How do you find the ride compared to other bikes you've owned?
Wow. Other bikes I own.
So Diverge, right?
Yeah, the Diverge, and I got a few older bikes. I can't remember the brands really. I can't remember the other brands. Yeah, but I think compared to the previous bike I own, at least for the previous bike, the Diverge, which is slightly more endurance gravel, this is it's a lot twitchier, very responsive. But I agree with the thing that climbing bikes can't really hold speed very well. Yeah, so sometimes when I need to, like for example, I'm like in the front of the pack, right, and like you're just going at about 30 to 40, super hard to keep. Like you really need to keep on telling yourself, keep going. Yeah, but I see like some other fellas with like semi-aero or aero bikes, they just like, yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit to Ryan, okay? He asked 2 questions, but I'll ask one. I
Sure.
think I already asked the other one.
Okay.
What's the name of your bike?
Oh, the name is Power. So this bike
Oh,
is
why so lame
Power.
one?
So I don't know whether you all watched Chainsaw Man. So there's this character who is like a blood demon. So she can create weapons out of her own blood. She's a wacky character. So her name is Power as well. So yeah, she gives a lot of problems to her team. Yeah, but she's spirited.
So you give a lot of problems to your team.
It gave a lot of problems to me, man. This bike, dude, like, okay, like, I shouldn't be shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah.
But the first time I got this, I think I had a chain drop actually. So it caused some scraping around here.
Oh shit, same like me, man.
Thankfully,
on my SL6.
Really? So
Yes.
yeah, so thankfully, right, I was pretty stupid lah. It was the stupidest accident ever. So it was like scrape law. So I was like, wow, first couple of weeks got the bike, then scrape already. So I had to bring it to check the carbon, whether or not there was any damage. And then I had to go back to, so I went to a paint shop, the workshop. And then they just did it nice for me, and now it's,
So it's just a
back
paint
here.
chip?
Yeah, thankfully it's just a paint chip. There's no...
So now you have a chain catcher.
Oh, yeah, is this tiny thing here, lor? Okay, cannot see.
Has it ever
it's so
helped?
tiny.
Has it like...
It has made me feel better about myself, because recently I had a friend who also got a chain drop, and that was on a... If I'm not wrong, it's an electronic group set. So, if electronic also can chain drop, I think it's a bit scary.
I've never had chain drops on electronic before.
I think a bit harder, lor. Maybe, like...
Maybe his chain was loose or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's just SRAM.
SRAM. Okay lah, we give the guy eating McDonald's here. He asked a question. Why you always scam your ride? Tell you go 30 but you go 40.
Oh, you never haul. Okay, the guy who asked eating McDonald's, he's a very fast rider from Central Roadies. Okay. When I first joined, every time I join like the 28 to 33 or like the 33 to 35, right? It's always 40 over. My Strava always like 40. I was like, how? But then, so over time, we got stronger because of him. So now when we pull, I don't scam, okay? I only scam on uphill. So uphill, for example, like people keep 30 on the straights, right? I will keep 30 when I climb. But apparently that's not allowed lah. So everyone said, oh, you need to go by the power. But I don't have a power meter. So I'm going by speed.
Why don't you have a power meter?
I think, okay, to me, it's not very important data. Because if I can keep up, so long as I'm powerful enough to keep up my speed. And I'm not training to be an Olympian or any like competitive rider. So no point for me to keep.
Also from Mr. McDonald's.
Okay.
Which I think I mentioned to you before the last time we met. I think you were on your Diverge or this bike. He says, where are your Christmas lights?
What Christmas lights?
No, I remember the last time you rode, right? You had like lights on the handle and the bars, and then like I don't know what's going on, man, dude.
Okay, so I had a friend. That time I keep telling him, I need to make this aero. I need to make this lighter. And everything. Then he was like, "Oh, why don't you just take out the stupid bar-in lights? It's like 200-300 grams." Then I went back away. I was like, "Hey, shit, he's right, man." So I just pull it out because it's damn stupid. Like, okay, unless I'm riding in the rain. So I think if it's like Malaysia, maybe like or maybe like overseas when it's like super dark, maybe the lights at the side will help. But for Singapore, it's super well lit. So over time, I just realized you don't really need like extra lights at the side. Yeah, so.
I know we already talked about the stem and everything, but I just want to acknowledge this question because it's so true.
Sure.
Your stem and fork setup looks like a buff dude who skipped leg day. Sorry.
I mean, each their own. Okay, you're right, but I mean, there's no better option on the market. I mean, the only other option would be to get rounded bars. I've considered actually the Rover Alpinis and the Darimo actually. Yeah, but it's just, I didn't want to sacrifice the aero law. Because this bike is really going to be so light. I don't need it to be any lighter. So I was thinking maybe just help a little bit on the aero side. Let me keep a bit more speed at the top end. Yeah.
I think a lot of the roast I've already covered, so I won't ask them.
Sure.
Let me think of something. Do you have anything else you would like to top up on? Okay, let's tell us about your kit, man.
That's my kit.
Looks like a very expensive elitist kit that you have.
No, it's not elitist kit lah. So it's basically MAP. Okay. So as a stubborn mofo last time, I was riding a very cheap kit lah. Okay. So it was $30 AliExpress Taobao kind. Then I got one friend who say, "Wow, MAP damn good, yeah. Damn good, yeah." Then I look at it, I was like, "Why so how? Why got so good one?" Then I went down to the store. I was like, one day itchy hand. I go down to I think CPS Cycle Project store. Then I touched the kit. I was like, "Okay, bye."
How much? These are not cheap, right?
Yeah, this is not cheap. So each kit is about $100 over to $200.
Your girlfriend know or not?
Don't tell her, please.
Already said already.
I think she knows. So the other day I went down. So recently this kit is actually new. Because New Year I want to buy something new, right? So I bought this kit, this jersey. And she was already shaking her head already. So together with the jersey, I went to try these bibs. So I don't know if you can see them. So
this is a bit explicit material.
So hold it. So I went to try the bibs as well. So when I was checking out, I was telling her, "Hey, nice or not? The color nice or not?" Then she was like, "Top nice, but bottom not nice, not nice." Then I was like, I already got the hint. I was like, okay. Then the guy at the cashier, I think Sherwin, was telling me, never mind lah, you get the top first lah. Yeah, I was like, okay, get the top first. Then after that, I went back home. I was in toilet bowl again. Toilet again. I was looking at the thing. I was like, wow, nice day. Like then I saw one. I don't know whether it's the algorithm listening on to me or something. But I went on Instagram. Some fella was wearing the exact same kit. Then he was wearing the pips that I was looking at. That was super nice. Then I was like, never mind, I just get it lah. Live shot. Just get it.
So now all your kit is all marked.
Yeah, so either MAP or ASOS. So I actually have a variety like ASOS, Pearl Izumi, MBO. Yeah.
And not many people wear gloves these days because it's not cool.
Yeah, so these are grip Hertzel gloves. So I don't know whether you can see them. It's like, yeah, they are different colors. But I think for me it's the cleanup involved. So last time I used to have like sometimes when you go to the gym, then you start flaking on your hands. So there was one time I went for a ride without gloves and I came back and my entire handlebar was like cornflakes. And I was like,
oh, gross.
I was like, oh no. Then I had to go and wash it. Then I have to like, even if you don't have that, usually handlebars will be greasy after you ride. So I realized that just get a glove. Like, damn it, just
Actually,
get a glove.
I wear gloves mainly because of protection. If I fall, right, normally your hands go out first.
Oh yeah, actually it did save me
so
before.
I've got like a lot of scars on my hand.
Yeah. So I had a different. This is my second pair of grip gloves. My first pair I think went down. I think we had sorry Nick. So we had a little accident because I was so tired after a Grand Fondo. Then my front wheel hit the guy's rear wheel, my friend's rear wheel, and then we went sideways and I had to put out my hand, and the left side of the other glove was completely torn. Yeah. So but I didn't get any scrapes.
Yeah.
So
it's insurance.
Yeah, it's like for minimal cash you get insurance.
Yeah. Wear your
Why not,
gloves,
man?
Not cool, but wear gloves.
Wear your gloves. Wear your gloves, man.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, man.
Got drunk off your mind, and I lost myself again. You hit it just like a drug. This time